Hello and welcome to the Roboboots Podcast. I'm Alex Hanley, and with me, as always, is my co-host Jason Church.
Hey everyone, how are you doing?
So yeah, Roboboots Podcast, RoboPlay Podcast every Saturday.
Every Saturday, we're here talking about the stuff you love. We're talking about video games. We're talking about movies. We're talking about cats.
Saturday.
This
guy over here.
Saturday.
This guy over here.
Roboboots.
Roboboots. Got a lot to cover.
We had a fun day today, man.
Yeah, man.
We did something that you're going to see on Sunday, which is tomorrow. We went to the Pokemon Championships, the World Championships that were here in Vancouver. Sorry, there's something in my throat. Which is very appropriate because I'm not sure what we're going to call this one. I think it's either going to be Last of Us spoiler cast.
I know what it's going to be called.
Or it's going to be Pokemon
Last of Us spoiler cast. Fucking 10 words long.
Or it's going to be the mega podcast.
Evolution cast.
People are going to see them and be like, God, are we talking about religion?
Yeah, we are.
Is that what we're doing this week? No. We're talking about Pokemon, but we are going to talk about Last of Us, I think. Because
talk about God.
I finally beat that game.
Do you believe in God, a creator?
No, I don't. I'm just going to not even dance around it.
This guy over here. Not even going to dance around it.
Well, some people, you ask that question, they're like, I don't want to.
Well, but you're fucking wrong, though.
Oh, okay. So is that how this is going to start?
There's proof that you're wrong.
Okay.
Who made the trees then?
It just works. We talked about it. The seed goes in the ground.
Yeah, but I said God did it.
Okay. So that...
Are you suggesting...
Pizza Hut made that. And because I said that, it's true.
No. Who made the trees?
Pizza Hut.
See this fucking idiot over here. Who sounds more sane? God made the trees or Pizza Hut made the trees? He sounds like a fucking lunatic. Who's with me in the comments below? Team God or Team Satan?
Alex Hanley. We do talk about regular things.
You're fucking being an idiot, and you know it.
No, I'm not.
He says Pizza Hut made the trees?
Yeah, Pizza Hut made the trees.
God made the fucking trees. He said, God said, let there be light, and then he created the earth.
Then who made the cheese, Alex? If God made trees...
Humans made cheese, and God made humans.
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
God made humans. Humans made Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut made trees.
No, God made the trees. Pizza Hut had nothing to do with the trees.
Have you ever read the Bible?
Yeah, I have.
Have you actually? I'm being outside the joke. Have you actually read the Bible?
I have a little Bible, and I've read it.
I am being serious right now. Have you actually read the Bible?
Yeah, I have.
I can't tell if you're being...
You're asking, and I'm saying, yeah, I have. Have you?
No.
Genesis, man.
I've read some New Testament shit, but I couldn't get through that.
Stupid idiot.
What?
It's God's word. How can you not devote time in your day to God's word?
It's unfortunate that we're talking about this because we have so much to talk about, and you're just completely pushing people away by doing this.
God made the trees.
God did not make the trees, Alex Hanley.
Pizza Hut did not make the trees. We're not moving any fucking forward in this stupid podcast until you admit it wasn't Pizza Hut who made the trees. It was God.
Can you prove that it wasn't?
Yeah.
How?
Because if you're a stock owner of Pizza Hut,
yes,
they tell you what they do with their earnings. They tell you what they spend their money on.
Oh, so
there's no tree profit.
You have stock in God. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's called faith. It's called faith, motherfucker.
What is faith currently worth? I didn't know that was on the NASDAQ. Could you please let me know?
It's worth everything. You have to have faith, you piece of shit.
So did God make mega evolutions then?
Fuck you. We're not talking about that till you admit God made the trees. It wasn't Pizza Hut. Drop it, Jason. It wasn't Pizza Hut.
I'm sorry. I see no proof that definitely says.
Definitely, he can't even
definitely
speak
says.
English. Team Satan over here speaking in tongues. Stuffed crust.
Stuffed crust.
In the comments below, Team God or Team Satan.
No Team God, no Team Satan. We're not about that here. Oh, I'm sweating after all that. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's a sweat of the devil. That's what it's gonna be like in hell for you.
Okay, well,
Get used to that sweat.
no, I think if I were to be sent to hell for damnation, I feel like my sin would be that of pride.
No, be sin of homosexuality.
I think my sin would be that of pride
Be
and
sin of gluttony. I saw what you did with that egg upstairs.
What?
You fucking wasted it.
Well, that's not gluttony then. That's the opposite of gluttony.
No,
that's wastefulness.
Yeah, that's gluttony too.
No,
Trust me.
That's like greed, maybe.
No,
that's not really gluttony. I know. I think.
Hey, all of my believers in the comments below.
Oh my god.
If you make 2 egg sandwiches and make a huge mess.
Of all the things, Alex Hanley, not to just be jokey about, religion is one of them. Religion is something that people get pissed about.
Hey, it's not like any of us had brothers that died. Right, Scott. No, if you make an egg sandwich, you make a huge mess, and you don't even eat one of them, and then you go away to a Pokemon World Championship for 5 hours, and then you come back and you take a bite out of it.
3 hours.
Took a bite out of an old egg sandwich. That's where you got diarrhea.
No, that was something else. I think it was that Asai.
Getting your ass fucked.
Fucking your ass fart.
No, it wouldn't be a Kai berry.
Kai Asai
hasn't been in your system long enough.
Yeah, the only other thing I had was Vector.
That's it. Milk is shit.
It's probably the milk.
Yeah.
But the Vector has so much fiber in it.
I've had milk in such a long time, and my body thanks me.
Link keeps trying to drink the milk that is like left over from my cereal.
Breast milk?
No. Like I'll finish eating cereal and I'll like sometimes I'll be like, drink that, get that cereal milk. I
was told that a girl, if she is like going through her phases and is
like her period?
Yeah, no shit. Her fucking. I was trying to be gracious. I was trying to be.
I didn't know if you're talking about if she's pregnant. Her phases. That's I think everybody vague. Knew.
What the fuck else would? Yeah, her pregnancy.
Yeah, her phases in her pregnancy. Because you were talking about breast milk.
Yeah, because I'm trying to say, if a girl is going through her phases, as in she's going through her menstrual cycle. Their tits get real sensitive. They got their hormones on high.
Sometimes they inflate too.
I was told that as a girl, during those moments, if they overstimulate their nipples and they play with them, milk. Even if they're not pregnant.
No.
That's what I heard.
No. That's bullshit.
Because your hormones are at their high.
So you start lactating?
It's not like your body knows. Like, your body is like some sort of computer going, oh, exporting baby.mov. Like, it doesn't know that you're pregnant. What it knows is your hormones are really high right now.
Yeah.
So I'll start producing this stuff. And
I feel like that's not something that you can just, like, start producing and it just starts coming out. Like, it's like...
Men can lactate, too.
What?
Hank Hill did it in King of the Hill.
That's not real, Alex.
It's based on real life. That can happen. You're suggesting at me that God's green earth, men cannot lactate.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
God's green earth. What are you Googling?
Googling women lactating on their period.
Can men lactate?
Not men. I know men can't.
How is Babby formed? I'll fucking Google it. I know men can. I've lactated before.
Have you?
Yeah. I'm a little lactated, but we're all Googling stuff. Everybody who's listening, Google as well. Man, lactate.
Well, Yahoo Answers is the best place to get your answers, right?
Did you mean Man of Steel?
Do women only lactate when they're pregnant or during their period too? Milk. Or at least it says after their pregnancy. I'm not sure. I'm going to go Wiki Answers.
Wikipedia does say men can lactate.
Can they?
Yeah, but it's not. There are not enough documented cases for them to like significantly go like, oh, we can get milk this way.
Oh, we don't need
there
women.
Are plenty of men, I'm sure, who are willing to donate their milk the same way men donate their sperm.
Lactation during menstruation. Okay, the facts. This is off WebMD, the most credible source for all web medical knowledge. I'm 20 years old. Around the age of 14, I started lactating. I was not sexually active, nor very much of a breast simulator. I'm assuming that means stimulator. I lactate only while on my period. The fluid was and is milky. 6 years later, I'm still lactating. And they go on and on about this. So
what was that about breast simulator?
It says breast simulator.
Can I get that on Steam?
Yeah, hopefully. I can only hope that is the next game in the simulator series. But again, it's like this is just one person. But it's like, maybe this can happen. I
was talking to a girl, and she was talking to me about how she liked playing with her boobs.
Well, who doesn't?
It's just like playing with them makes her horny. That's what she said to me.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like,
playing with them makes me horny too.
Horny? Don't you mean thirsty?
That's funny. That's a funny joke there. You're a real Tim Heidecker. It's
like a tipping.
Yes.
No, but she's saying to me that she was like playing with them,
Mm-hmm.
and then she had to stop because she was like fearful in her head. Like it felt so good to her
that she was gonna start like leaking.
That's what she thought, so she stopped. I was like, no, keep going.
Keep going. Although I guess girls have this.
Can you imagine having a little bit of milk? You could just like take a little.
The look on your face. I don't think I've ever seen you more joyful at the idea of something. I can't imagine it would taste good though.
It's breast milk.
I probably is bland.
You've had breast milk before.
Not that I remember. I have, yes, but not that I remember.
Lived off of it.
Yes.
That was your only sustenance for months.
Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I was a formula kid. I don't know. I never asked.
I'm gonna ask when your parents get back.
Okay, you do that when they get back. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Church. Did you have Jason on formula, or did you breastfeed
Can
him?
I ask you a question about breastfeeding?
Jim, I know you know lots about this.
Can you lactate? Get out.
I was telling you how they're actually, he in particular is looking to get a little done.
What?
Yeah.
What?
A little
Excuse
as a little
me?
scissor.
You were not telling me
Was
about
I not?
this.
I was telling somebody
no,
about this.
You fucking weren't.
Okay,
I remember this.
Well, here's something.
I don't think we should talk about this on the podcast.
No, I want to bring it up because I wonder, is that something you've ever thought about doing later in life? Maybe not right now, but the idea of getting a vasectomy to like make sure you don't have kids.
No.
No?
I don't give a shit. I don't even have kids now.
But I'm saying one day you may have a girl or a boy. Well, if it's a boy, I guess that wouldn't be an issue.
You don't want a little brother?
Why? No. I don't want a little brother. And that's the thing. It's like, I think when you get to a certain age that getting that done, it's not the worst thing. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Because that'd be, imagine you accidentally have a kid. It's like, yeah, there's abortions and there's all the options now. But still, it's like, if you don't have to think about it, it'd be nice.
I'm not getting anybody to cut my fucking balls open. I'd much rather pay for an abortion.
And have her go through shit?
Yes.
You're a terrible human being.
You don't want your balls cut open, do you?
You go under. It's not like, you don't just stare at them through my pants.
It's fucked up, man.
I know Scott Mosier got it done.
Yeah, and Scott Mosier is a nice guy, but I'm nothing like him.
No, you're not.
Your dad's not like Scott either.
No, he's not.
Get his balls cut open. I can't deal with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, I looked into it too, and sometimes it can still, even if you get it done,
they can still squeak through.
They can still squeak through, or you can have issues with it, like all surgery.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They go in there and they're like,
yeah.
No. And then they can actually fix it. They can go like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like getting your tubes tied.
Open the floodgates again.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's very weird. You think by now we'd have come up with better systems than like having to, I don't know.
Yeah, there is better systems. It's called God gave you a cock. Make some babies in the name of Christ. That's what it's called. You ever seen those shows where it's like, oh, we got 20 kids and we love them? What's wrong with that, huh? What's wrong with that? Nothing.
Nothing.
Little people, big world, man. Roll off. He's God's people too.
I don't like you when you're in this mood. It frightens me.
Hey, regular, even he's God people too. Matt Roloff.
Oh
my fucking hero. God. Did I show you that clip of them arguing? I tweeted at you.
You tweeted and I looked through it. I didn't look at the videos though. It's sad. Because it's like,
I don't know if it's reality TV or if they're really having marital problems.
I think it's mostly reality TV, but I think the stress of that can also affect you. Because it's like how much of acting like that will start to get into your head.
It's like their regular show is over. This is like a spin-off show.
They need something to keep the money flowing.
Where they're on a cruise, exactly. So it's like maybe they're just drumming this shit up.
Well, yeah, it's
these two midgets have been together for like 35 years. So
I think
it's
there was
how hard is it? It'd be so hard to find new love as the little guy.
And the thing is, it's like if there were actual marriage problems. It's like for them to go to and be like, hey, we have marriage problems. Come on, come film us. You know, it's like, I'm sure there is something wrong probably. But
Is
it's
that your
like,
Matt Roloff impression?
what?
What you just did. You were like, come film him.
Yeah,
Is
that
Matt
was,
Roloff?
yeah.
That's a little too tall.
I'm sorry.
Did you see what he looked like? I love that guy.
Yeah. Does he sound normal?
His voice is a little high, but like he could be like that if he was big. It's just not.
Yeah.
Like, hello, I'm a munchkin.
Hello, my cowboy farm.
He's a nice guy. His wife's a nice woman. But
Trouble in paradise.
I hope the Roloffs they stay together.
Hopefully.
For Christ, no divorces. They used to have to have a reason, but a long time ago, 50s, 40s, you couldn't like. He would basically be like he's cheating on me or he's beating me, but you couldn't otherwise get a divorce.
Even back then, I don't think they would still let you.
And that's what I'm saying. And you have to have a
like the
fucking
guy would
reason.
have to be okay with it. The girl couldn't just be like, "I want a divorce."
Yeah, the woman couldn't get out.
No,
unless it was something like, I have proof that he's cheating on me. I have proof that he beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, well, we can cut you loose.
Yeah.
And you still kind of have to do that, where you have to list a reason for why you're getting divorced.
Fucking sick of her.
Well, there's there's choices, and most people go irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, which is there's problems.
Yeah, like you and me. You say that the treats were made by Pizza Hut.
Yes.
You fucking psychopath. Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Is this a sponsorship? Is this Pissman's? Is that fucking piss mustard?
They've actually been sending me pizzas, and they're like, hey, if
You
God is
making
ever brought
stack?
up...
You making the stack?
They said, do you want to get stabbed? I was like, what?
Yeah, do you want to get stabbed?
No, not really.
Okay, so we're 20 minutes into this podcast. We were at the Pokemon World Championships today. We haven't talked about it because Jason over here got a fucking Pizza Hut sponsorship. This guy over here, Jugo Juice over here. We're going to talk about Jugo Juice too? Next thing, what am I going to hear? The oceans were made by Jugo Juice? Is that right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is.
When I was getting dressed today, I said to myself, I could wear my Pokedex 3D shirt, but I know Jason's going to wear it. And he did.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can't be twins like that.
Oh, I thought it was either this or the Roboboots t-shirt, but that was in the wash.
I was thinking about, well, I could put on the Roboboots one. It's like, no, he's going to either wear one of those. I'm just going to put on a fucking regular t-shirt. Panther football.
Yeah.
Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights convention. World Championships of Football. Super Bowl.
That's the Super Bowl. But they don't really play football elsewhere in the world, do they?
What do you mean?
Like American football. It's not really a big thing elsewhere.
In Europe. They play it in Europe. It's like things are catching on in Asia. Not with football, but like baseball is big. Basketball is becoming very big.
But
Soccer's big. But football, they're not built for it.
Well, I was going to say, it's like actual football, like soccer. It's like there's the World Cups for that. And it's like, I wonder.
That's super easy, but it's like it's hard for poor little Chinese babies to play football, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's like having a Chinese team versus like an American team or like a Russian team. It's like, well, it's like there's an unfair advantage here. I'm sure they can still, like basketball or anything, they can get tall Chinese people and like built, but it's like, I don't know. It's weird.
But with football, it's like these people are 6'5" and they're 350 pounds. It's like finding a Chinese person that's that built, it's a rare prize.
That isn't doing like sumo or something.
Rare candy.
Yeah.
Or sumo, you fucking racist.
Oh.
What's that?
I'm sure there's an
Didn't
equivalent.
I say Chinese?
Yes, but I'm sure there's an equivalent of like sumo in that like big man sport in China. I'm assuming.
Hey, in China, did Pizza Hut make the trees there too?
Oh, of course. Pizza Hut is a worldwide thing.
I want this to be our shirt. I want this to be our first shirt. Like
What?
a little meme shirt. Jason thinks Pizza Hut made the tree.
Okay. I'm
Our
okay with
first
that.
shirt. If you'd buy it, say it in the comments below.
What?
Pokemon World Championships. What were your thoughts?
It's boring. That's it. It's boring. There's not much going on. Big space. Nice big space. That's a good convention center.
If you're not competing, it's like I go on their website. It doesn't say anything about spectators, and then I have to go somewhere else to find out about spectators. It's like, oh, I know why, because the people that are there watching are like the fucking parents and stuff.
Or the people dressed up in costumes.
Yeah.
Or people like us who are like, oh, there's a Pokemon event going on. I guess we'll go check it out. And yeah, sure enough, they don't let you get close to the people actually playing. They're all like in the center playing. And they're going to have TV set up. It's like, I'm not going to stand here and watch a Pokemon match. As much as I love
and they
Pokemon.
say there's big things saying don't discuss the match.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, if you start talking, they're playing right in front of these TVs.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's gonna use fucking Lucario's gonna use Mega Punch. It's like, oh shit, you know, it's like you can't say anything, so it's all hush hush. But I thought the atmosphere was cool. We did some interviews, and that video is gonna be funny. I think it's a good video where we just go around talking to people about.
Luckily, when you're watching a thing like that, you can't see all their moves.
Yeah,
because I remember I used to go on The Zone. MSN The Zone.
I thought you meant YTV The Zone.
No, MSN The Zone. And I would watch people play Hearts, and you could kibitz on games. You could sit in and watch games. I'd just go sit behind somebody and just say all the cards he had, and I'd go to the next person.
Oh, and you just
and
do
say
that?
all the cards that they have, and I do that for all 4 of them.
Well, you're just evening the playing field.
You'd watch everybody leave.
Yeah.
I was trolling in 1998 before trolling was a fucking thing.
Zone.
Yeah, the MSN The Zone. They had hearts, they had spades, they had chess, checkers. I actually got pretty good at hearts, but I was on The Zone because that was the only place that you could do Age of Empires online. That was the client they used. It was
Weird.
Owned by Microsoft, MSN. So.
Yeah.
Age of Empires.
No, I thought it was
Rise of Rome.
Rise of Rome, yeah. I played that. They had
Age
like
of
a
Empires
room.
2. Age of Kings.
Yes. They had a room though with like Pokemon
The Room?
playing. The room. But when we looked in there, did you notice that they didn't actually have any chairs? Everyone was sitting on the floor in there.
I did not. I did not.
Yeah.
Were they watching The Room in there?
No, they were watching
They should.
Stantler.
Do you know how much? It's like, hey, Pokemon's over. We're going to play The Room now.
What?
People bring footballs and they pass them in the theater.
Yeah. They could. That's a huge venue. But it was fun. I'm glad we checked it out. I was disappointed that we couldn't go to the store, but yeah, I was going to wait in line for a long time to buy things, and everything was sold out on that list. There's like all the Pokemon cards sold out, all the decks sold out, all the little keychains.
Well, and also the thing is, the retail shops on the first day are only open to competitors. They bought everything.
Oh.
And then they were like, okay, now the regular folk can buy.
Now you can buy plushies. It's like, oh.
To be fair, it's like, okay, I guess they deserve it more.
I
We saw
guess.
celebrities, Japanese celebrities.
We did. We saw
Pokemon Sunday.
Pokemon Sunday, which is this big thing in Japan where they...
Every Sunday they have this fucking Pokemon show where they talk about the new Pokemon shit.
And it's weird because it's full of like children, and a lot of them aren't even Japanese as far as I know. They're like, I don't know. They look like Brazilian or just, I don't know, something. And they have people dressed up and they play the game, and they're all like super animated, and there's like 20 people on stage at any given moment just talking about Pokemon. So they were there filming stuff, and I don't know, the dad of the girl who was being filmed, he was so mad because I guess they kept having her like retake the shot, and he was just like, come on, we have to fucking go. And the guy who creator of Pokemon was like trying to give her something, and he was like,
Wasn't the creator of Pokemon?
it was. I looked it up. It's not Masuda, but the actual head guy, it was him. Because he was there yesterday when they revealed Mega Kangaskhan too. He was the one that was like, oh, and that's why I recognized him, because his photo's on Cerebi or whatever.
You heard it here first. Satoru Iwata was there. Kenji Inafune was there.
Yeah, new Ninja Gaiden, new...
Masahiro Sakurai was there.
yeah, I can't pull...
He debuted new Smash Brothers.
But, yeah, I'm sure they're going to announce more tonight. Maybe it'll be...
51 was there.
Yeah, Suda 51.
No more Pokemon heroes.
But yeah, the big thing was this like mega evolution. You and I have been talking about it a bit. If you haven't heard already, there's a new form of evolution. Pokemon
Torterra touchdown.
Oh.
No more Pokemon heroes.
In the new Pokemon X and Y, there's this mega evolution, and it's like existing Pokemon, even third stage evolutions, can evolve into something new. And it only happens during battles, but they have Lucario, they have Mewtwo, they have Ampharos, Absol, they've got Mawile, and I think that's it. Oh, Blaziken. They've got Blaziken, and now they have Kangaskhan. And they pretty much just go... I mean, initially, it was like, oh, they got like long hair, and they have cool spikes. And then Kangaskhan is like, no, the baby just comes out of the pouch. The baby comes out of the pouch, and now the baby fights too. And it's like, okay, so we Digimon now. And I was saying, it's like, this is insanity. It's gimmicky, yes, but it's just like, it changes the rules of things, of how like the battles play. And it's like, I'm all for that. I'm okay with having something crazy and new, and I think that's interesting rather than just having the same shit over and over again. I don't know. But I know you don't like it. You are mad at the idea of mega evolutions.
I tweeted that I was fucking done with Pokemon. That this is like the WWE going like, no more Rock, no more Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's a 3-headed John Cena now. It's like, fuck that. I don't need 3-headed John Cena.
But that's the thing. Evolutions, like, even for the past 2 generations, evolutions have been crazy. Oh, let's give Electabuzz. We'll give him a new evolution. He's crazy, Electabuzz.
It's not fixing the right fucking problems. That there's so many fucking like PokeMMO that just fucking works. It's like, rather than work on something like that, work on network infrastructure, trying to make your online shit actually good. No, it's just more crazy evolutions. What if a Kangaskhan's baby hopped out of the pouch? No, fucking work on the online stuff.
But we don't know. For all we know, like...
No, I do know. Game Freak doesn't do shit. It's the same fucking game with a new coat of paint. Hey, it's Mew 3. The insanity.
It's actually Mega Mewtwo.
It's Mega Mew 3. And fucking Lucario doesn't need one. Blaziken doesn't need one. And the Pokemon that do need them, like Kangaskhan, sure. But Kangaskhan is actually, for a normal Pokemon, one of the better normal Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's like, Kangaskhan doesn't really need one. Farfetch'd fucking needs one.
You know it's for marketing, though. If they went out there and they were like, hey, guys, Farfetch'd going... It's like, that's not going to fucking sell.
Nobody cares about Kangaskhan.
But that's why it was done later. It's like Lucario, Blaziken, Mewtwo, Absol. These are Pokemon that people draw furries over, that they dress up in and go crazy over.
It wouldn't matter. Like, it's like, if they really wanted to have it be a marketing thing, they'd be like, Mega Pikachu. And, it'd be
and
like,
I'm sure they will. As we get closer to the release. And if they do,
it's like, well, I don't want to be a part of this fucking show marketing bullshit. Mega Pikachu, it's like, no, this is fucking dumb. I was watching Pokemon Gold Let's Play, and it's not even the nostalgia element. It's like this element of, like, you're playing the game for the first time in this whole world of wonder, and it's like, you never know what's around the next corner, and there's something very cool about Pokemon that's gone now.
But you can't say that. You are not a 12-year-old child experiencing Pokemon for the first time. We're so ingrained, though.
No, I'll play video games, and I'll still have that sense of wonder from other video games. It's like, Ni no Kuni has it way better than Pokemon did. Ni no Kuni, it's like, no, this is a brand new adventure. I don't know any of these fucking things. I don't know how these mechanics work. With Pokemon, no, the mechanics have barely fucking changed in 50, 100 years, how long ever Pokemon's been around.
But then they add something new of like, hey, we have evolutions during battle that only last during battles. That does change things, and people are like, no, now you're too crazy. It's like, I don't think, including you and myself, nothing can be done that would satisfy us at this point. Nothing could be done.
What do you mean? There's so many things.
Give
me a game where I can go to all of the fucking past places. How fucking hard would that be? Not that fucking hard.
But again, for people who haven't played those old games, why would they give a shit about going to Hoenn? That's what I'm saying. We expect Pokemon to be done for us, and I realize it's not for us.
They already did that, though. They did that with Heart Gold. They're like, hey, let's remake the first and second games.
Yeah, and those sold well enough, and people loved them.
Those sold incredibly well, and then new kids got brought back to these old fucking places. Do that again. It's not a remake. Have it just be another Pokemon story that takes place across all these fucking continents. Where it's like, holy shit. And you can catch all the fucking Pokemon. Most of these games, it's like, you have the new Pokemon, and then the national dex, and then you can catch all the other Pokemon. It's like, no, fuck that nonsense. Have it be this intercut, sort of like, these guys. Like, have some bug forest in one place that has literally all the fucking bugs. Where it's like from all the generations.
Yeah.
There's so many things they could do to make Pokemon cool again. This is not it.
See, for me, it's like, no, this is interesting. I think this is a fun mechanic, and it makes Pokemon...
It's just kitschy. It's like when they did double battles, and it's like, okay. Then they did triple battles. It's like, I guess that's interesting, and nobody cares. It's like, okay, there's 10 Pokemon that have Mega Evolutions. Well, I hope there can be my favorite Pokemon that will have Mega Evolutions.
And like, that thing, I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't know if a Mega Evolution is gonna be something that just comes to all Pokemon now, because it
won't. I don't think it will.
I don't know. We'll see. It's just very interesting, and it's like, I just have hopes that what they're doing with this is just insanity. That this Pokemon game is not trying to improve, like you said, previous things. They're going somewhere different. And it's like, Is that good or bad? I don't know. If I want those experiences that I had as a kid, I'll go back and play Heart Gold. I'll go back and play Emerald and stuff. It's like, if they want to do crazy new stuff, by all means, I'd rather them do that than just redo the same thing over and over again. Of let's experience the same stuff you've already experienced in the same regions you've already been to. It's like, it'd be like expecting a movie director to remake a very similar movie for every movie they do. It's like, no, people
ever seen a Spielberg film? I was gonna say, it's like, I don't want them to remake shit. It's like, you can do Hoenn in a new way that they've done in Gold, where it's like you go back to a new place, but it's different. To actually put some actual thought into it, more so than they did in the Gold, where it was just like, this place is closed and this place is closed.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier, but and we've talked about before. It's like, we've had this discussion, like, what will our dream Pokemon games, what would they be like? And Game Freak has come and said that they won't do a 3D like console version of Pokemon because they believe it's supposed to be this handheld thing.
Well, they're doing pretty much the 3D experience for the 3DS of like moving around 3D, everything's 3D and all that. It's like, I understand that Pokemon is a handheld thing, but yeah, that is sort of archaic. It's like, no, we have good infrastructure, good networking and all that.
Yeah, on the Wii U.
On the Wii U. And there's the problem, is that nobody fucking has a Wii U, so why would they ever make a game for that? And the Wii is just like, I don't know.
Have you seen the sales numbers for the Wii U?
I think the Vita's outselling it now.
The Wii U is selling fucking garbage.
Yeah.
It sells no fucking units. And all serious developers are like, no, we're not planning to release anything for it.
And that's the thing.
If there's no consoles, there's nobody to fucking buy them. It would cost them too much money and there'd be no return.
Yeah. And I'll say what I've always said, in that if a big Mario game is released for the Wii U, and a big Smash Brothers game is released for the Wii U, and a big Mario Kart game is released for the Wii U, and the numbers are still abysmal, then yes, that's done. But it's like, until those games come out, I can't say, because the 3DS was in the exact same drought. It was a year and a half of just me going,
the numbers weren't bad like this. They were not bad like this.
It was bad.
No, because Japan still bought the 3DS. Japan is not buying the fucking Wii U.
I don't know.
They have signs in GameStops where it's like, hey, everybody, Wii is the red box, Wii U is the blue box, because nobody's fucking buying the... I'm sure people have bought the Wii U going, what the fuck is this? Take it back, get their Wii that they want.
I'm just looking it up, because I do remember seeing some stats for Wii U sales, and actually, like, the first 6 months of Wii U versus the first 6 months of 3DS, the Wii U actually sold more than what the 3DS did. I just don't know what, like,
saying those first 3 months?
First 6 months.
Oh.
Something like that, where the Wii U was selling more.
I saw charts where it was like, yeah, first month of Wii U, high. Second month of Wii U.
It is the same thing with the 3DS.
And not even, and then third quarter for Wii U, fucking nothing.
Yeah, it was the exact same thing, and I think it wasn't until Mario Kart 7 came that the 3DS actually started selling, because it was selling worse than the DS Lite. It was selling worse than the DS, the Super DS, and all.
I don't think it was Mario Kart. It was they had that Monster Hunter game come out for it. That's what counts.
That was later. That was after, but yeah, that did. Monster Hunter is huge. But no, the Wii U is doing bad. But like I said, I can't count Nintendo out until those big games are out, because it's like, if those come out and nobody's buying it, then yeah, it's like they're done. But
it's like, the thing is, the people that own it now will buy it. I don't know those things are system sellers.
They are. Smash Brothers, not to us, but to gamers, especially to young.
What gamers? The people that want the Wii U bought the Wii U. The thing is, gamers are, by the time that these games come out, the next generation will have started.
Perhaps. I mean,
not perhaps. There's Link right now. He's saying, "Hey, the next generation's coming."
Thank you, Link. No, but I just mean the sense of, for someone like
you, down here, he's like, you're talking shit about Nintendo.
For someone like you, if they release the new Smash Brothers, you're not going to buy it anyways. For someone like me, though, if that game looks good, I'll probably buy a Wii U. It's like, there's a lot of people like me who are just like, no,
I love Smash Brothers. Melee, good.
That's what I'm saying. People like you, you're like,
okay. Whatever they do for the next one, it's like, I think I'm done with that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not for you, but for people like me who aren't burnt out of just like, no, I buy Nintendo consoles for Nintendo games. And it's like, yeah, they're very similar experiences, but I enjoy that feeling that they have, because there's not many games like that. I'm like, we'll get to this. The Last of Us, beautiful game, absolutely gorgeous, but I'm not always in the mood to play this fucking serious story-driven like experience. Like, sometimes I want to sit down and play a goofy ass Nintendo game, and not many other people can provide games like that. what is it? Sony All Stars, whatever. They're shut down. They've announced
the developers shut down.
They announced this week that they'll keep doing patches and stuff for like bug fixes, but no more new content, no more new stages. It's like other Sony and Microsoft, they don't have games like that. They have Little Big Planet, but it's like it's not the same. So it's like I think there's enough of those people. Is that demographic shrinking? Yes. Yes, it is. Those people are getting older, and the people who buy those consoles, there's not as many as them. But it's like I think the Wii U will come around. I don't think it will be a success that the Wii was. I don't know what Nintendo will do next time. I don't know what they'll do.
I think the Wii U will be written off as a failure because it's like whatever they have to do, it's like it can't survive against what's currently out there. It's like
no, it can't.
I mean, what's currently out there, the fucking 360 and the PS3, it doesn't stack up to that in a hardware sense, and the PS4 and the Xbox.
No, the Wii U is comparable to PS3. It pretty much is the developers don't.
Exactly.
As much as much effort they put in.
That's what counts. It's like, yeah, it's on par with those, like, arguably. Like, it is on par with those.
Yeah.
But it's not like the games don't sell for it right now, and that's a moot point. But PS4, Xbox One are coming out, and by that time, it's like, you're going to look at screen... Well, and at least developers with the Wii tried doing multi-platform releases. With the Wii, they do like their own special versions for the Wii.
Yeah,
where it's hey, Call of Duty for 360, PS3, and here's the Wii version.
Yeah,
I don't know that they're even doing a Wii version or Wii U version for their fucking new thing.
I doubt it at this point.
I don't think they are because those don't fucking sell, and the online doesn't work for them properly.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't think you can go a generation without those multi-platform games.
I don't know, and that's the thing
because they already did that, and it's like. Yeah, that shit sells. Like that's if you lose the support of the developers, then they're only relying on first party games. Get the fuck off my sock. Like
it's been like that for ages though.
You only can make first party games so quickly, and that's what this fucking drought is. There's nothing to fucking play on the Wii U.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Even with the 3DS, what is coming out for it? Like Animal Crossing just came out, but what's coming out next?
Oh god.
What's the next big game?
I know there's the new Zelda game that's coming out this year.
Isn't there 3D Land 2? Yeah, there is, isn't there?
3D Land 2.
Yeah.
I think there's Pokemon this year. I don't really keep up with it as well as I used to. But I know there's plenty of things.
Wait, do you know what just came out for Wii U? Pikmin 3.
Pikmin 3 came out. A game I could not care less about.
What were they thinking?
That's the thing. They have all these like a vocal minority just being like Pikmin 3, Pikmin 3.
They don't fucking sell, and I watched a review for it, and they're like, yeah, it's Pikmin.
Yeah.
And people were like, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's really... it's Pikmin. There's a rock Pikmin now. And the yellow ones...
It looks better than the old Pikmin.
The yellow ones, they're electric, too.
Yeah. And that took a while. I feel like Pikmin was a game that they started working on because they thought, this will be easy to make, and this will get us to know how to do HD games. And then the more they realized, oh, we don't know how to do HD games, and that game just took longer and longer to produce. But it was just like a test game.
Pikmin didn't fucking sell.
Yeah.
Pikmin 2 didn't sell. And then they were like, let's make a third one. People want it, and it didn't. It's not selling.
Yeah.
It's fucking strange. Best-selling game of the year. Last of Us.
I'm trying to look at
what?
Sales on Pikmin.
Nothing. Go VG charts with a Z, and then look Pikmin 3. Sold 0 copies.
Pikmin sold over 1 million copies.
That's not.
Yeah,
that's just like
that was Pikmin 1. I don't know about
that's
Pikmin 2, but yeah, it's not as a console, and it was supposed to be a launch game.
Weren't there like 30 or 40 million GameCubes? That might be on the high end, but I'm pretty sure they're like 30 or 40 million GameCubes.
I don't know.
There were a lot of GameCubes. It's like, how much did Sunshine sell? Look that up. I think Sunshine sold like 6 or 7, and Brawl was the biggest seller with like 10.
VG charts. Oh, the ad is only...
Skip it. It's a skip button.
Oh, you can't. It's counting down the skip button. And it's 18 seconds. I'm just gonna... Okay.
But 1 million for Wii or for GameCube is fucking garbage.
Global sales of Super Mario Sunshine were 6.3 million.
Yeah, that's a good seller for Nintendo. Pikmin, That's fucking garbage compared to Mario, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's do Pikmin 2. And Pikmin 2 didn't sell either. It sold less. And Pikmin 3 will sell less than that.
Pikmin 2. Actually, now I'm curious about the Metroid series, how that sold. Because I love that series, but I feel like that didn't sell very well.
No, it didn't. People say they want Metroid. Metroid has never been a big seller, ever.
No.
Super Metroid, I think, is the biggest one. And
Pikmin 2, 1.2 million. It's just like, nothing. So yeah, why they chose that?
Why they chose to make a fucking real-time strategy game for fucking Nintendo, I don't know.
Yeah.
Will there be a Pikmin 4? Probably.
And
they don't know. They don't know what they're doing.
People talk about like, oh man, it'd be great to get a new IP from Nintendo, and I think it would be interesting to see a new IP, but the problem is it won't sell. It simply will not sell. It's like they are stuck in this loophole of
Mirio.
Like a Mario based on mirrors?
No, based on Mii's.
Oh, Mirio. They already did that, didn't they?
I don't know.
You
just have your Mii, but he has a Mario hat.
At the anime convention that I went to last month, 2 months ago now, they had the Wii U Mario game. That's a fun game.
Which?
The 2D Mario game that's on Wii U. Super Mario U.
Okay, yeah.
That's a fun game. Just like the chaoticness of the touchpad and everything.
Can't stand how it looks. Just how zoomed out it is. It's like, nah.
Well, it only does that when you have like 4 people and they're trying to capture everyone on screen.
Like if you look at how it plays with one person and how it looks to like an older Mario game, it's still super zoomed out.
I didn't notice that.
Zoom in.
Yeah. Again, you're stuck in the past. Go play those past games. Of these past games.
I'm saying the new games suck.
You haven't played them.
I don't want to play them.
And you're not allowed an opinion. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are allowed an opinion. It's like the reviews come out. It's like, oh, it's new Super Mario Brothers again. But you can put blocks. You can be Jeff Ramsey and put blocks. It's like, that's not something I'm interested in. Yeah, you could be Jeff Ramsey and place blocks.
Super Mario U. Seeing how that did.
That's sold. It's Mario. It's sold.
Yeah. But
I think that's their best-selling game. That or Zombie U.
Yeah.
But I don't think...
what am I thinking? Right. No, I was thinking of like, oh man, it'll be great when they do the new like 3D Mario, but they're doing the 3D Mario, and that's what you were talking about. It's 3D Mario Land, Mario 3D Land 2, but it's on the Wii U. Yeah. So it's that weird pseudo 3D look where it's not like Galaxy or Mario 64. It's this like isometric sort of thing. I hate the look of that. With cats.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I guess that'll sell, maybe. But even that's like, that's not a system seller to me. It's like, that's still like...
That's all their games. None of them are system sellers. The only thing that might be a system seller is what they think is Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that was the best-selling game on GameCube, but it wasn't a system seller. That was the best-selling game they had. And it's like, there are people that would go out and buy GameCube just for that.
Yeah.
But there's not enough of them to tip the scale in any direction.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure anymore. So... It'll be very interesting. It's like maybe if they do a new Zelda game, like that's a big system seller. People like Zelda. But yeah, it's very, very bizarre. I don't know, man. But on the other hand, you have games like Last of Us and Naughty Dog.
Best selling game of the year, Last of Us.
What is that sold? Last of Us. Charts cast.
3.5 or something. 3.2.
2.9.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
No, I mean VG Charts is an estimation at best.
No, they have their search thing, and then they have articles where they talk about it. But it is the best-selling game this year, and then Animal Crossing is 2
But man, Last of Us, so good. We're gonna be spoiling things.
They put out a GameCube, and then they were like, "What are you so confused?" Nintendo put out the GameCube, and then they were like, hey, we're going to sign an exclusive deal with Capcom and we'll make 6 games. And they made Resident Evil fucking 4 for the GameCube.
Sold like garbage.
No, it didn't.
Initially, until it started going on like to the PS2 and people were like, wait, this is a great game.
No, it sold great on the GameCube.
Did it?
Yes, because it came out and people were like, this is the best Resident Evil they've ever done. And people were like, holy shit, I got to play this shit on the GameCube. And that was the only system you could play it on.
Yeah.
It wasn't until years later they were like, well, let's bring it to the other ones now. That exclusivity is worn off. And I was wondering about Nintendo if they thought, Zombie U, that'll be our Resident Evil this time. But it's like, I don't know, it's like the attitude is, well, I don't know what they were thinking with Zombie U.
They went, Zombie U, that's going to be the Red Steel of this generation. Thanks, Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's completely different companies, but it's like, I don't know. They had a different mentality with the GameCube. There's some very interesting games on the GameCube. With the Wii U, they're playing it so safe. And there's no third-party support. They're just playing it super safe.
And that's honestly that's what they get for doing the whole Wii bullshit.
Chibi Robo 2 though.
I never played Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo though.
That's what they get for the whole Wii thing. They rode out the casual market, being like, this made us a ton of money, but it completely alienated.
They abandoned their core market, thinking, "Oh, we got the casual market," and they put the Wii U, and the casual market's nowhere to be found.
And the thing is,
fucking fickle, and the core market doesn't give a shit about them anymore.
No, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, they made a ton of money, but it's like, as a company, it's like, well,
you lost all of your core gamers like me to the other companies, and it's like, you can't. You have to do something. I don't know what they could do to win me back at this point for Nintendo. There's a guy who wrote, "I love you, Nintendo." Put out a really, really good console. Put some money on the fucking table and be like, "We're making a good console this time.
Yeah,
it isn't a piece of garbage."
Yeah, give us more features and stuff.
Because they put out the Wii U and it was like, "This is our next gen console." It's like, well, why does it have last gen specs?
Yeah, and it's like
Last of Us, best game of this console generation.
I think so, by far.
Better
than Dark Souls.
I like Dark Souls, but Last of Us is a better game.
Yeah.
Like Dark Souls is fun to me, and I play a lot of Dark Souls, but it's not without its problems. And the fucking story for Dark Souls is non-existent.
Yeah.
The story for The Last of Us is, I don't know,
very different experiences, obviously.
probably the best storytelling in any video game.
Oh, by far.
In terms of an actual narrative, it's like, well, no, there's headed in better than a lot of movies, most movies.
And that's the one thing, is that the story is phenomenal. Could it have just been like a 6-part movie or whatever?
No. You wouldn't have the same attachment. If you posit the question as, well, could they do a movie adaptation of The Last of Us? No.
No.
And can it just be cinematics? No, because then you don't get invested in those characters.
Mm-hmm.
They do a very good job of putting you in someone's shoes. And I've talked previously about how much I've enjoyed it. I say we go into the spoilers now that Jason's beaten it. So if you've not beaten Last of Us, don't know, if you haven't played that shit, go play that shit.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it. If you don't have a PS3, go buy a PS3, play Last of Us. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, do it. They're getting cheap now. You can get a cheap PS3 off Craigslist probably. $100. I bet.
$150, and then Last of Us you can probably get for cheap somewhere.
Yeah.
Get a nice deal on it.
Yeah.
Under $200 and you won't regret it.
No.
Be a good investment.
Yeah. And you get a Blu-ray player, so you've always wanted one of those.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody.
Many people don't have those.
I know. I said it was like it's 2013. How do you do not have a Blu-ray player?
I've got DVDs and Netflix though.
Yeah, it's like DVDs. What the fuck was the last time? I can't even watch that shit.
Oh, it's
you try
terrible.
to watch a DVD now, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Even Netflix sometimes, where it's like they have standard definition stuff, whatever, but then the widescreen stuff.
Yeah, let's put these black bars.
That's a problem. Number one, the widescreen shit, and then sometimes it's like they compress this. It doesn't look good. Come on, you fuckers. I don't care about my ISP. How much? The thing is, they do that so you're not wasting tons of bandwidth. It's like I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
But let's get into The Last of Us spoilers. So you beat the game.
I beat the game.
Thoughts?
Very emotional. Like, I was so conflicted. You and I had this discussion a bit.
Talk about it in whole. Just don't talk about the ending, but talk about it as a whole.
The experience really got me into being the character of Joel. Like, I don't think I've ever really felt like that. When I play an Uncharted game, I don't feel like I'm Nathan Drake. I feel like I'm controlling Nathan Drake. But The Last of Us makes you feel like this man. You go through his experience of losing his daughter and then dealing with living in this world and then having to deal with this new girl that he has to shepherd out.
I don't know. The way you're saying it, too, like the way you're phrasing it, like you're not saying like, I lost my daughter. It's like, it's not that you are Joel. To me, the way I played it was like, no, I just felt really close with this character. It's like I'm almost like a guiding hand for his story. That I don't feel like I am Joel, but I feel like I'm some sort of narrative construct where I'm like pushing him forward and I'm making the choices for him and pushing him forward.
Well, and that's what I was going to actually bring up as a point, where the game's really great, but it does such a good job of making me feel like I am the character of Joel. Like I was so emotional going through that initial sequence of just like carrying Sarah, and it's just like, holy shit, like I started crying at this sequence. And then the thing that I have an issue with is that you ultimately don't have a choice, that you are that construct.
It's almost kind of like a book, how you can read a book.
Yes.
And in terms of perspective, a book could be in first person.
Yeah.
It'll be like, well, I did this, I did that. Or it can be in third person, where it's like Harry fucking Potter did this.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels like that, where you're inside the head of Harry and you really start to feel Harry because he's the protagonist.
Yeah.
But it's like you're the guy flipping the pages. You're not actually Harry.
Yeah.
But you feel with all the things he feels because you're going along the story with him. You feel that with Joel, that I didn't necessarily feel like I was Joel, but I understood him because it's like, no, I'm in his shoes. Like I'm living the story that he's living.
Yeah. But just between like the gameplay, the environments that you go to, the way that time passes and the people you meet, it's just like, it was just so enjoyable. Where I played the first hour of it, and then I didn't we played multiplayer all the time, and I didn't touch it for like 2 weeks. And then I sat down, and it took me a good like hour to get back into it. I was going through the downtown Boston area, and you're going through the buildings, and it's like you meet the clickers. And I was like, this all feels very gamey to me. It feels like I'm going through the game, like the developers telling me do this, do that. And I'm trying to think of when it clicked. I can't even pinpoint it, but it was some point where it's just like, it just clicked, and it was like, oh man, like, yeah, okay, I have to care for this girl. I think it was when Tess dies, when it was just like, oh shit.
Because it's like, that's the training wheels, where it's like, oh, this is the game
exactly.
that I remember seeing in the E3 things, where it's me and Ellie, that there's
exactly.
no Tess.
That up to that point, dealing with Tess, it's like, it felt too video gamey to me. Of just like, everything was happening, it's like, okay, this is very predictable. And after that point, it's just like, I haven't had an experience where I couldn't predict what was going to happen. I had ideas of like, oh yeah, I'm sure Joel's going to get hurt. Maybe Joel will die. Like something will happen. But like the general flow, I couldn't predict that we were going to go to some Winterland and deal with some fucking crazy psychopath cannibals. Like that stuff I couldn't predict. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that was really refreshing from a storytelling standpoint of just like, oh, I can just enjoy a new experience and not have to think about it. But yeah. Very good game.
Reading Polygon's review for it before playing the game, and Polygon's gave it 7.5.
Oh, right, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, it's just like, well, you guys are no longer credible.
Yeah.
That passed through the ranks where it's like 7.5. All right, and
yeah.
they published that. It's like, no,
yeah.
That's fucking garbage. I think The Last of Us is the best game on PS3.
Yeah,
and it's like, Naughty Dog is the publisher, the developer to fucking beat for, I don't know, like that you have Bungie with Halo and on the Xbox.
Bungie
but
with
it's like,
Destiny, and then
no, but I'm saying for like,
oh, okay, yeah, I got
for
you.
a developer's
yeah.
relationship with the console and stuff. It's like the only thing comparable is sort of like, well, look at all these quality games that they did, but nothing that they've done, I think, is on par with The Last of Us. People don't talk about it in the same way. People don't talk about it with the same reverence that they do with The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm. It's
like unanimous praise, and the people that do talk like badly of it, it's like the things that they're complaining about. It's like they just sound like idiots when they're complaining about it.
Well, it's moot points. It's things that don't matter in the grand scheme. It's like
it's
you're
people,
having to focus so much just to
people who
find
don't
a problem.
like that experience. It's people who are just like, I don't like feeling things. It's like they don't.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't like it. This just makes me sad. I don't. 7.5.
Well, no. I mean,
this is
even
really intense. I don't like it.
Even I was saying, it's like, no, it's like I enjoy games like this, but I do enjoy games that are like light and fluffy and you don't have to think, like candy or something. But it's like experiences like this, and I hate using this, but it's like games like this are what make games look like art. And it's like, it's so refreshing. Just because it uses all these mechanics. It doesn't really do anything too different in the terms of like combat or how the story is really presented.
It's just one of the first games that I remember. I've been saying this for a long time, and The Last of Us almost answered my fucking prayers that I've been saying for a long time. There's so many games where it's like your bullets don't really matter. It's like you'll shoot at somebody and you'll shoot like 20 bullets into them and they're still alive, and it's like, it's video gamey stuff. And The Last of Us, and I was saying like I wanted a survival horror game, and it's so weird that like I've been
I know, right?
I've been talking about how like I'd like a Silent Hill kind of game where it was like, no, every bullet fucking counted, where if you shoot somebody, it's like bullets, it's like in a real situation like this, you're not gonna have hundreds of bullets, you're gonna have a few bullets, and if you waste them like a dummy, now you're fucked. You're gonna have to find another way to kill them. And I kept on sort of being reminded of like the first Silent Hill game, which is like about this troubled father, and it's not as horror-y and not as B movie as Silent Hill is.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of the same kind of like, this is a terrible situation I'm in right now, and I have no fucking bullets and no health.
Yeah.
Let's see how I can get out of this.
Man. And it's like sometimes the game would just like beat you over the head and be like, you're doing this wrong. Like you do something different. But it's like those moments where you come up with a plan. You're like, I need to do this, this, and then you execute it. It's just like perfect. It's that Hitman Absolution.
Well, I was playing on survival, and there's that moment where you're with Tess and Ellie in one of the buildings, and you need to drop down by yourself as Joel. And there's a few runners and a few clickers. You need to take them out by yourself.
Yeah.
And they just give you the revolver beforehand. I was playing on survival, which is the hardest difficulty. And I kept on going through it and getting fucked over. Until finally I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go haywire. And I started like running around and just like shooting one of them and like hitting another one. And somehow that ended up being a strategy that worked. Where I was just running around, just like boom, boom. Okay, I'm gonna beat you. You're beaten up now. Oh, there's clickers coming. I'm gonna run around, make sure to pick up a brick, hit this guy. Now he's dead. Yeah, and I just did that and killed everybody. I was like, well, that's a different way to do it.
And that's the thing. I completely forgot about the whole like mechanic of running because it teaches you so well. And I got so like into my own tracks of I gotta crouch, I gotta stealth, I gotta listen, I gotta like. Boom, boom, boom,
you can't listen in survival.
You can't listen?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, fuck. Like, my whole playstyle was just, like, stealth. I never used bullets. I
still stealth. You need to stealth, but you just stop listening.
Just realistic.
And that's why somebody on the Reddit thing was like... Somebody... Do you see that guy who was, like, trying to talk shit? It was like...
I used to respond.
They don't listen. I responded to him. I was like, why would everyone play the same way that you play? There's so many different ways you can play this game. Why would everybody play it exactly how you play it?
Did he respond?
I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I just need to say my piece. I was gonna because he replied to you and then he replied to another guy. Yeah, but they don't ever use hearing.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? We won.
That's the thing.
There was another guy who was like, oh, you guys are kind of bad at this game.
And I was gonna respond with like, did you not get like the incredibly just
where
like
I'm throwing it? I'm not trying to kill. It's like that takes skill. What I'm doing, where I'm goofing off, not trying to win.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. What the fuck was I trying to say?
Running around, no hearing. You can't.
Oh, for hearing, yeah. That I made it through halfway through the game without even like. I thought to myself like, oh, do you not get hearing in the game up in, like until like a certain point? Oh, I guess that point will come soon.
Yeah.
And it never came, and I was like, oh, I guess I just won't use it. I don't need it.
Huh.
I mean,
That's so interesting. Because it's like that's such an important mechanic that they keep telling you.
It's a superpower they fucking give you.
Yes.
There's Batman fucking, you can see through walls. It's like you'll soon realize like you'll get this new cognitive awareness of just where the people are. Mm-hmm. Where instead of listening, you'll literally be using your own ears, going like, okay, well they're there. There's two of them. I can see one of them. There's another one over there. Yeah. And you won't use the hearing anymore. You'll just do it yourself.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what you were saying. You were watching PewDiePie, and he was playing on easy, and how the game...
Easy or normal, I'm not sure.
The game is just a completely different experience. And it's
he was in the final sequence, and he had full everything. Full Molotovs, full bombs, full smoke, full ammo, full first aid, and it's like... And he's still, like... People give him crap for whatever, because his videos are fucking terrible. It's like, in the end, he's just a guy trying to make it on his fucking...
Yeah.
On his own accord, but, like, I liked... Even his reaction, he wasn't annoying in it. He was like speechless.
I didn't actually watch it. I forgot to do that.
He's completely speechless during the ending, which we can get to in a bit. But no, it's interesting that you said it and Adam said it about how like going and playing multiplayer and then going back to playing single player, like, oh, I just can't do it. And for whatever reason, playing all that multiplayer, single player is like a total breeze. Like I was saying to you that I sat down, started survival, and I was on a Skype call with somebody playing survival and made it all the way up until the point right before we meet Henry and Sam. Yeah. And that's the halfway mark. That's 50%. I did that all in one sitting without really fucking up ever. Yeah. And I was doing like telling the person I was Skyping with everything that was happening as I did it and doing like Joel's voice for all the dialogue, doing Bill's voice. And anytime he said Ellie, I made sure to say Smelly Ellie.
Fucking Bill. Oh my God.
Bill in survival, lifesaver. fucking beautiful. I love him. He's a shotgun, and it's just like he'll save your life in survival. Just
yeah, no, I just thought
God,
it was so funny where he's just like, all right, now everyone gotta be quiet. Thump, 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 thump. Just starts thumping along with his boots. Just like,
he's gay.
Bill, what the fuck are you doing? They don't hear him.
He loves dicks.
He loves dicks. Spat everywhere.
How did you do the thing where you find the letter?
What do you mean?
With Bill, you find the letter from Frank.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I told him.
And then what?
I was just trying to think. I told him, and he was just like, no, actually, did I find the letter? I think I did. Because I know there's the whole experience where you go into the house and he's like, only he would wear that fucking shirt and cuts him down.
Yeah.
There's
a letter from Frank where he's like, I couldn't take it living
with
you, Bill. Yeah.
Could you do something with that?
You can go up to him, give him the letter. He reads it, and then he crumples it.
Didn't fucking do that.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't do that the first time either.
Shoot.
And Adam told me about it, so now I just told you about it. Then the second time through, you give him the letter, and he reads it, and he goes like, he really like tearily, he goes like, fucking asshole, and he crumples it up and throws it on the ground.
Yeah.
And you can pick it up again, and it counts as like, that counts as like a collectible thing. And then picking up again counts as another collectible thing.
That's the problem.
You can talk to Ellie there as well in the car.
I talked to Ellie.
Yeah.
Man, and that's the problem where a game like this is a game that I want to get 100%. I want the platinum in this game because it's like I get platinums for games that I just think are like phenomenal games. Like these are great games that make me invest.
I was going through and looking at our trophies. I'm ahead of you.
Are you? I'm not sure. I haven't looked.
The thing is, you have more platinums and more completed things. I just have more games that are like slightly completed.
Yeah.
But no, I was looking. I was like, is there one game that's 100% for me? I was looking through. Oh, Pac-Man. Pac-Man Championship Edition.
Does that have a platinum in it?
No, it's a downloadable. But I made sure to get 100% because I like that game.
Yeah.
I was trying to think to myself because I was watching all these people do speed runs. I was like, man, is there one game like I would be like not the best at, but just like really good at?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, guess it's Pac-Man. I'm really good at that game. If you watch me play, like if you look at my trophies too, or no, it's my high scores. Like there's dates associated with them.
Yeah.
Like I took like 6 months off and I sat down and played for the first time, like in such a long time. I managed to beat like all my high scores, and I hadn't played in such a long time. You just come at it with a fresh mind and a fresh take. That game's fun, hectic but fun.
Yeah, I played it like briefly. I was like, Pac-Man, whatever. Just couldn't get into it.
It's not Pac-Man though.
It's not.
It's completely different. Like it's all about like the chains and
no, I know. I don't know.
It's like for me, it's like they managed to reinvent Pac-Man and make Pac-Man fun again.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't click.
Clickers.
But no, I'm just trying to think like
the person I was Skyping with, she could hear the sounds that my TV was making.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't like the sounds of those things.
No.
Right as I was getting into Billstown, there's that one that's like, if you know, I guess you've only done it the one time, but you go into Billstown right as you enter, and there's like a shed to the left, like to the left of where you enter, and you don't see him, and there's like a brick on the ground, but there's a clicker right there. And
there's a few of them. There's two of them in that area.
There's two. You kill the first clicker, and the moment you kill him, the second one comes. But yeah, she didn't like that. And that's when I learned in survival, bricks don't work. You have to be really careful.
I use my shiv all the time on clickers. I always made sure that I had like 2 to 3 shivs. That's the
first bonus that you should spend it on. The shiv protection thing.
Yeah.
That's like in my first playthrough, I invested in health first.
Yeah, and I was like, why did I do that?
Then when the clickers started, well, that's fine. And then when the clickers started getting really, like there's lots of them, that's when I invested in that.
Yeah. But no, really solid game. And again, just like amazing that they had such a good single player, and then the multiplayer is fantastic. It's like,
and more DLC to come.
It's like, good on you, Naughty Dog. Just like that development team, that second team that they have. It's like, just I cannot wait.
Did you listen to that podcast yet?
Not yet.
Bruce Straley? Oh yeah, he's a smart guy. Him and Neil Druckmann, they were talking about how they went and saw No Country for Old Men, and that was like the inspiration, because they walked out of that movie going, well, I've never played a game that's like that.
Yeah.
Because there's some really intense scenes in that movie.
Actually, now that you say that, I can see the similarities. They're just like that inspiration. But
and well, because people were saying that it's like, oh, it's kind of like The Road, and I don't like, as someone who's read the book for The Road and watched the movie, it's like, to me, The Road is a lot more post-apocalyptic than this. Like this, like clearly something bad has happened, but when I think of The Road, it's just like
there's nothing. It's a wasteland.
It's so much more grimier and so much less hopeful.
Well, that's the thing.
There's this glimmer of hope that you have with Ellie, and there's none of that in the road. Like,
no,
this boy is not the cure for everything. It's like, no, the world, like, it will end. People will die out. That's how it will happen.
I'm curious because I haven't really talked to anyone about this. Of just like your actual opinion on the fact that Ellie is this like miracle child, and it's like, was that too cliche for you? Because when they first introduced that, I was like, it's like, are you kidding me? Like she happens to be the one like in this world, and I think
because no, I don't see it as that because there's no guarantee that anything will come of it.
No, and that's why it became less and less, and then it became a non-existent problem for me. Of just like they introduced her as just like I'm invincible against this thing. It's just like, well, that's a trope that's been done to death of just like the savior, and then you start going through it, and especially when you get to university and they're like, I don't know, it's like maybe there's something we can do to fix this, but it's like there is no guarantee. But yeah, we can talk about a bit of the ending too, of how the way Joel lies to her and tells Ellie that it's like...
Well, and they were talking about that on Indoor Crits as well. It's like, for a game, for a huge AAA title, to end on one of the protagonists lying to another protagonist.
Yeah.
It's like, that's ballsy. Like, you don't see movies do that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this isn't some happy ending. And they were talking, and Bruce Straley was talking about it, who's the game designer, the game director on this.
Mm-hmm.
That he was talking about, yeah, we originally had a happier ending and it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like set right to the story. And then we came up with this. Neil Druckmann came up with this and it felt perfect.
Yeah. Because there's going to be problems in the future. You know that him lying is going to bite him in the ass. That at least that's what I took away from it. And that's what I like about the ending, is that it is open to interpretation a bit. But it's like, to me, Joel lies blatantly to Ellie that, there's plenty of other people like you. You're not special, so I took you away. And it's like, to me, it's like, no, this is going to become a rift. Hello, Link. This is going to become a rift for you, and not now, not next week, but like in the future, that something she will learn of this somehow.
Yeah, I don't want to discredit that, but the way I took it from it is, no, she knows that he's lying. And it's like, I'm getting choked up even talking about it, but she knows that he's lying, and there's something beautiful about that he cares about her more than any of that shit.
That's interesting. I never really thought of it that way. It's
the way she says okay is like almost like get out of here, cat. We're trying to talk about Last of Us.
Go.
The way that she says okay at the end is almost like a resigned, like, okay, I'll go with it the way you want to go with it.
Because she cares about him.
It's like I'm getting teary-eyed because I think it's such a beautiful sentiment. But just, she knows Joel well enough at this point to know when Joel's not telling the truth, or when Joel's holding something from her. And I think she knows, and is okay with it.
No, I can definitely see that.
Because in the end, it's like the alternative is, what do we go back and they kill her? It's like, they have you think that that's what, like, Marlene puts the idea into your head that, like, well, no, this is what Ellie would have wanted.
Yeah. And
you never get that from her. Like, you just wake up to the fact of, like, oh, where's Ellie? Oh, she's all prepped and we're ready to go. So send you on your way, Joel.
Goodbye, Joel.
I want to see her. Well, no, you can't do that, Joel. So, and Joel gets escorted out of there and fucking kills Sky immediately. But,
I like that they had a lot of Marlene's, like, voice clips and letters and stuff around. Like,
because you start to realize, well, no, Marlene is basically like Ellie's mother.
Yes.
And this is like, you have Ellie's father figure and Ellie's mother figure.
Yeah.
And Ellie's mother figure is doing the quote unquote right thing for humanity. And somebody who's known Ellie for less time, Joel, is doing the humane thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I tweeted at Adam how this is just like, we were tweeting back and forth how this is just like morally gray areas, the game. And it's like, that's great. That's great that it's just gray. There's no black
so divisive.
or white.
I know that there are people that were very upset by the ending. And as a whole, that they didn't have a choice.
Yes.
And I think that's the smart thing. That's the narrative thing.
Yes.
Where it's like you read a book and you don't have a say in what the book, and that's what I keep comparing it to, that it's like, it's not a movie. To me, it's more of a book that you have more invested in it. A movie, you sit down for 2 hours and you don't have as much invested. A book may take you a week, may take you a month to read it, and you take time out of your day to do it. And same thing with The Last of Us. You go through all of this with them.
When I played that game in like 2 sittings and I beat it, it's just like Saturday played like 8 hours. Sunday,
Yeah,
played
I think that's how most people do it. And
yeah. It's just
playing it again is a lot of fun.
Yeah. But no, I was gonna say, like with Marlene and with the other collectibles, I was telling you, there's this one sequence once you, Henry and Sam save you from drowning or whatever, that you come across a boat of this man Ish who had been off, and it's like this complete story of this man and his experience and like what he did to survive. Like, Link is so distracting. But what he did to survive. And it's like, it's all just through these collectibles that you pick up. And I was saying like how so many games have collectibles and you can get these story elements, but it's just like, I don't know why. It works so well in The Last of Us. I don't know if it's the fact that the notes are all handwritten.
Yeah, a lot of the notes are handwritten things.
Different looking. And it's like,
but they're like, no, this is like somebody's last words to somebody that they care about a lot of the time.
It's just,
and then Joel will make a comment about them.
Yeah. And it's just like so well done of just these stories where you'll pick up a note and it's just like, oh man, you know, here's my girl and stuff, and it's like there's a photo of her, and yeah, sure enough, you look over at the bedside and there's like a photo of these 2 people. It's just like, ugh, heart-wrenching, incredibly heart-wrenching.
Well, and I thought one of the more heart-wrenching lines in the game was when Sam, right before they reveal that Sam's infected, that he starts asking Ellie about, do you think those things, that there's people in there?
Yeah.
And it's like, I get teary-eyed thinking about that. It's like, that's the fear in that character's, like, just that's beautiful right there.
Yeah. And
good storytelling.
It makes you understand. It doesn't tell you like, hey, people kill themselves because they're fucking, they don't want to get turned into it.
But it's like the fucking terror that must feel like.
Yeah.
Of like knowing, well, I'm gonna be I'm
not gonna be me anymore.
Yeah, it's like I'm done. I'm fucked right now.
But that is the whole thing of not knowing. Of am I gonna be trapped in there?
He doesn't tell them that he's infected. It's like he waits it out, hoping that, well, maybe
I'm different.
Yeah, maybe that this won't happen to me. And sure enough, it happens to him.
Yeah.
And that's another dramatic sequence and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a few things like that where I was telling the person I was Skyping with, it hadn't happened yet, but I was like telling about the ice cream truck bit.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's just like, well, it's great, and it's like, it's such great storytelling and writing, and it's like these weird constructs that we have, that there are fucking trucks that drive through our neighborhoods and play the worst music ever,
creepy loud music.
They sell ice cream for like $5, and it's just like, how weird this must be to these children who do not live in the same world as we do.
No.
I think the game itself, like visually, is the prettiest game. Like,
it's very, very pretty.
For this world that is so like bleak, it's so beautiful at the same time.
And giraffes.
The giraffe sequence, which is something you can actually like miss out on if you're too slow.
Really?
If you don't catch up to Ellie fast enough. This is what I've heard. It didn't happen to me, but I've heard that you can. And the weird thing was, me and Adam both had the same thing where it was when Ellie climbed up there and she's like, "Oh, Joel, you got to see this." In my head, I went, "What did she come across? A bunch of giraffes?" I didn't have any foreknowledge.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And I realized what it is. Up to that point, there are a shit ton of zoo posters that have giraffes on it. And it's very like subconscious sort of bullshit of like, what was that? And then you know what finally clicked before I saw it? I was like, there was that E3 thing where the Dorito Pope had a giraffe with him at like Sony's thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was some E3 thing, and it's because they were filming a video.
In my head, it was, what's something that would really make her react like this? Like, I felt like I got to know Ellie in that moment where it was like, I've never heard this tone in her voice and this kind of excitement from her. What would make her so excited? And I just thought to myself, yeah, a giraffe. Like, it would be so otherworldly to see this thing that is so unlike anything else.
Yeah.
And it puts beauty in something that we consider almost mundane at this point, where it's like, oh, it's a fucking giraffe. It's a fucking cartoon thing.
Yeah.
And they're placing this beauty in this again, and you can watch them just like forever.
I watched them for a good like 15 minutes,
and
I think.
They were talking about on the Indoor Kids where they were like, Kumail and Emily were both playing it, and they were saying to ourselves like, do you think Joel and Ellie have had enough time with the drafts? Like, should we leave them like watch it? Like, they felt for the characters like, is this enough of a moment for them to watch the drafts, or should we leave them here for a bit longer? And it's like, And for Bruce Straley to hear that, for this guy who created these characters, it's like, that must be such like heavenly praise.
Yeah. Because it's like, for me, I saw that and I go, oh, this is so beautiful. But it's like, this is the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Because you told me how
the tunnels are right after that.
the tunnels. Oh my God.
I love that the flamethrower is the best weapon for all that, though.
And I was so glad, because up to that point, I never really used it, and I had so much flamethrower ammo of just like, I'm never going to fucking use this. And it's like, oh, what have I been thinking? This is the best.
There's one, like, bus you can climb up, and you just stand up there, and it's like, okay, come to me, assholes.
Yeah.
And they'll climb to you. Not the bloaters. That's before the bloaters come. There's tons of runners.
Oh, up to that point, it was fine. It's the point where there's, like, 2 bloaters or something, and there's, like, a side room, and it's just like, I must have played through that 10, 15 times.
I didn't have a problem with it. Like, I realized, like, this is an immense challenge, but there's so much room that you realize the bloaters can't do shit to you from far away. So I just ran the fuck back and took out my sniper rifle and just like, boom, fuck you, boom, fuck you. Oh,
see, my thing I eventually realized, and I was like, why have I not used this up to this point? I just snuck past them. I, like, took out the guys I needed to get the stuff I wanted. Just snuck past.
If you need, you need enough. There's a few points, and Bruce Straley was talking about this. If only we could have Bruce Straley on this podcast.
If only, Bruce, if you're listening, come on to our show.
There are a few moments where you need to get to a door, and you need a second person to help you, or there's like a ledge. Like, there's a moment with you and Bill, and you can try to rush ahead. The thing is, if there are enemies near you, you can't do it. But if they're not there, it doesn't matter if they're dead or not. You can skip ahead. And Bruce Straley was saying like, yeah, pretty much every sequence where there's a moment like that, you don't have to kill the enemies. You can keep moving ahead. Yeah. And that's a thing where I tried doing that, and that's one of those moments where you need to hoist Ellie up, and she pushes something down for you.
I was so scared. I'm like, she's going to push that thing down. They're all going to come running after me, and this plan isn't going to work. And it's like, oh, nobody heard me. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
They were too close to me when I tried doing that. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to run all the way back. And I ran all the way back and just shot at them with my sniper rifles. And they only can lob those things so far, and they're not accurate, and you could just move out of the way. Yeah. So I never really, even in survival, I don't really have a problem with the bloaters. The hardest sequence in the game for me is when it's Ellie and David in the top of that mill. Oh. Where the elevator thing is, and
that took like 2 tries, I think.
No, I was just fucked. It saved me. The problem is it'll save you in weird points, and you can't fix it.
Yeah. It auto saves very often and very weirdly.
I didn't know how big the waves were going to be, so I was like, okay, well, I'll use a Molotov. Bomb, exactly. I'm going to use a Molotov, and I killed 3 guys. Okay, sweet. I'm going to use a bomb over here. I wasted all that, and my only ammo left was the hunting rifle ammo, and I had like 2 or 3 of them, and there was just a bloater in the room, and I was like, well, I'm fucked. And sure enough, I was fucked. Yeah. It kept respawning me with, you have 3 hunting rifle ammo, and that's it. And it's like,
oh, you have 1 bow and 2 pistol. Good luck. Oh, and a bomb. It's like,
and I realized, no, if you just keep cycling around, they'll spawn ammo for you. They will save you. Oh. The game will spawn ammo for you if you're out of ammo. So keep wasting all your ammo all the time.
Oh. I was such a hoarder. I was like, I'll just make shivs and stab everyone silently. No one will ever hear me.
It does it in multiplayer too. That's why sometimes I'll joke around and like fire my bullets at the beginning. They'll give you more bullets in the first part skit.
Weird.
Yeah, and they'll do that in the game though, because the game realizes, oh, he has no ammo. There's no way that this person could beat the bloater. Yeah. They'll just spawn more ammo in the room.
Well, maybe he'll punch it to death. Let's just watch and see.
Yeah, so nope, they won't. They'll make sure that there's a way for you to beat the thing. So, I'm not sure that there's too much more to talk about for DLC. For single player, I was saying to Adam that if they wanted to take the Blood Dragon route, The Last of Us, Savage Starlight DLC, the comics.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, to see them do space, because it's like, for me, I don't want to see any more Joel and Ellie for DLC, for a sequel or anything like that. I don't want to see any more of them. Like, that's done. That's wrapped up for me.
See, I think that's a cool idea. I think the more realistic idea is something like playing as Marlene.
No, I was thinking like you could do prequel stuff with Marlene, or you could do the Ish stuff, which is something that people have talked about.
Yeah, Ish stuff would be really good.
Or like doing the Ballad of Gay Bill.
But that's the thing. It's like, I'm with you where I have enough of these characters. I don't.
Well, and that's why I thought really Savage Starlight would be like, that would be. I'd be like, sweet. I'm stoked for that. It could be completely different.
Alternate reality characters.
If you actually read the backs of the Savage Starlight stuff, it's like, no, that and Bruce Straley points it out. It's just, there's like a parallel kind of Savage Starlight thing. Like,
I didn't realize you could read the backs of them.
Yeah, you can flip them over. It tells you what they're about. Each comic.
Never did that.
Yeah, before you give them to Ellie. And I just love that works for the collectibles, where it's just like it's Joel going out of his way to do something nice for Ellie out of the kindness out of his heart.
Yeah.
And there's still that moment right before the end where Joel's actually talking about Sarah, and he's just like, "You two, I know."
It's
you two
finally come to a point where it's like he can.
Well, yeah, talk about it, but he's like, "I know you two would have got along great," and you're also in that moment. You're playing as Ellie.
Yeah.
You're not playing as Joel.
Yeah.
I actually showed you. I made a GIF of Ellie on my Tumblr, and I showed it to you before you beat the game. I was like, "Hey, do you like my Ellie GIF?" And you're like, "Yeah." But you didn't put much thought into it.
No.
It's literally the final seconds of the game, right after she says "okay." That's what I made a GIF of, and I looped it.
Yeah, I didn't even clue in. That's funny.
Moment. Oh, and I was talking to Adam as I was playing the game. I know Adam wouldn't spoil it for me, but I noticed he kept saying "okay," but it didn't mean anything to me until it fucking
okay.
Yeah, he's just like "okay," or no, he said the fuck did he say? What's the line? Oh, he said like "swear to me" or something like that, and that's what she says to Joel.
Yeah.
But I didn't think
she goes, "Swear to me."
Well, that's what he said. "Swear to me." And I was like, "Does he make a Batman reference now?"
Yeah.
And then it happens. I was like, "Oh,
cute." Yeah.
What do you think of the character of Tommy?
In what sense? Just
in general. Because to me, I couldn't help, and this is like a personal thing. Like I couldn't help but like see my dad and my uncle in those roles, because they're like, my dad and my uncle don't really get along, but not to the point where they hate each other. They just don't see eye to eye on things. So I couldn't help but see like Tommy as my uncle and Joel as my dad, and that sort of the way that
they were interacting. And
well, it's like they still hug and they still like they know that they're brothers, but they don't see eye to eye on things.
Yeah, and that happens very quickly of just like, fuck you, Joel, and I'm not gonna take her, but then still coming around. I thought he was so nonchalant about Ellie like stealing one of the horses. That was like a game thing to me, where like Ellie just takes off with one of the horses and they're like chasing after her. But for me, if I was Tommy, I would be fucking pissed. Yeah,
be like, "Joel, your fucking retard rabies daughter fucking stole the horse. Those horses are not easy to come by."
Well, but at the same time, he said like, we have plenty of horses. So it's like, one horse, what's going to happen? They could always eat a horse, so it doesn't matter. But I don't know. Now that you talk about it, both him and his wife didn't leave much of an impression. I thought the environment of the dam left more of an impression on me of just like, oh, here's a really interesting area of just like these people who don't really know how this technology works anymore, attempting to fix something. And I thought that area was interesting because they fix this problem, but they make a point to be like, oh, this happens all the time. And yeah, like you look at the generator, it's like, these are not going to last much longer. Like you have a nice paradise right now, and ironically enough, it's like Joel and Ellie go back to that area, but it's like, this isn't going to last.
It's like, they don't go into it, and why would they? But it's like, there are ways of like storing the stuff in like batteries.
Yes.
So it's like, if they were doing that, those batteries could last for a long time. And there are other ways of producing electricity.
There are.
It's like this is not the thing that'll save them forever. But I think the hope in like the ideal Last of Us world, the hope is like, well, no, the clickers and all that will hopefully die out. That the way that they reproduce is not through sex, it's through infecting others.
Infecting humans specifically.
Yeah, and producing more spores.
But how would they ever die out unless all humans died?
Yeah, no, but it's like they had those electric fences where it's like, no, let all those fuckers die out, and then we can repopulate the earth.
Yeah.
That's like, and it's not an ideal world. It's not a good world that they have for themselves.
No.
But no, I was gonna say one of the most touching moments in the game I thought was Tommy giving the photo to Joel of Sarah.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
And then Ellie ends up giving it to him. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. I was wondering if that was going to make a comeback or not, because I saw that's just like, oh, Joel, are you really sure you don't want to take this? You may never see this.
And to me, at the same time, for Joel, it's like, no, I understand that. Like,
yeah. He's not at a point yet.
He's like, he's moved on from that.
Yeah.
Like, he can't focus on that. He has to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But then when Ellie gives it to him, it's like a different thing. It's not that he's taking that to remember Sarah. It's like he's taking that as like
a gesture of good faith from Ellie.
Well, no, that he sees that in her. He sees Sarah in her, and that ends up playing a part in the ending. It's like,
yeah,
there's so many parallels between that and the beginning of the game.
Yeah. You like the final point of, and you and I have talked about this, of just how we had that subtle difference in how we played that ending sequence.
Well, yeah, we haven't talked about that. I think that's a lot of the questions a lot of people ask themselves about the ending is like with the doctors and the nurses in the operating room with Ellie.
Yeah.
And I guess, should we explain it? Like, what? I guess, because I'm sure there are people listening to the podcast who maybe don't play games, don't care that Last of Us was spoiled, but I'm sure, well, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but Ellie is infected with the spores that turn you into a clicker, turn you into basically a zombie.
Yeah.
But she's got the cure in her.
Well, no, she doesn't even have the cure in her. There's
the potential to maybe make a vaccine.
It's mutated where it's still in her brain. There's still the cordyceps in her brain and her body, but it's at a point where it's like, she can live with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect her. And yeah, she gets taken in by the fireflies.
Well, and you as Joel take her on this fucking year-long trip from Boston all the way to where's the final in Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake City.
Yeah, in Utah, which is fucking forever.
I had to
away.
Google Maps because I was like, wait, wow, where have we gone?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh shit, this is a huge
It took them
distance.
an entire year.
Yeah.
And I would have loved like more just like travel shit. I love riding that horse. What was that horse's name? Weird name. I can't remember it.
Something with a C.
And I love when the horse dies. There's no moment of like, oh, the horse. It was just Ellie looking at the horse. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, there was almost no acknowledgement. It's like there's so much death in her life where it's just like she looks at it and there's no mourning. It's just that's what happens. Joel takes Ellie to the Fireflies, this rebel group, and they have doctors, and they tell Joel that we're going to operate on her, and we can make a vaccine from this, and
and that's the thing, they're so dodgy about it. They're just like, we're going to remove it and we're going to see what we can do with it. It's like
they're going to remove her brain.
Yeah,
they're going to take her brain out of her
because that's where the cordyceps are,
and it's going to kill her. And that's where Joel goes on this thing where he's going to rescue Ellie, and you don't really have a say in it. But at the same time, the thing that I think people seem to take out of the equation is that who wouldn't do that for somebody that they loved?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's the fate of the world and all that, it's like, I'm not going to let them take Jason's brain out of him.
You would.
No, I wouldn't let them take you. You wouldn't let them take my brain. I don't want them taking my brain.
Well, if it's to save the world, maybe.
No, I wouldn't let them take Jason's brain. Anybody, it's like you can't. That's somebody you care about. You wouldn't let them do that. But no, there's that final moment of she's in the operating room and they're about to operate.
You barge in after killing countless people.
Yeah, and I went in there and there was no hesitation. I had my shotgun out and I killed the doctor and I killed both the nurses and I grabbed her and we're out of there in no time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had this hesitation as you did in that moment.
When I walk in there, it's just like, you walk in and the doctor has the scalpel and he's like, this is for the fate of the world. I don't even know what he says exactly. I'm not really listening at that point, but I'm just like,
I think he's actually like begging. He's like, please.
Yeah, he's like, please, we need to try this. And it's just like, I just had my gun there because it's like, no, I'm taking Ellie, but I don't want to murder you guys. Like, here, I know you guys are trying to do good. I don't want to murder people who are going to try and fix this.
And the thing that I thought about it later is that in this world, how valuable would a doctor be? And
that's exactly my thought of, I don't want to kill you. Even if you're doing terrible things, I know it's like you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart. So I was just like, I stood there for like 30 seconds with my gun pointed, just being like, please just move the fuck out of the way. And it's like, no prompts. I'm like, I have to do this. Boom. And
you know what happens if you approach him? If you get,
I got really close.
Yeah, if you get close enough to him, Joel just takes the scalpel and shoves it into his throat and kills him.
That's what happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I got really close. I'm walking as slow as I can with the gun pointed, just being like, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then it's just like, scalpels him. And then the two nurses are just like, oh my God. I'm just like, I just take Ellie and I run. Because it's like, I don't want to have any more death on my hands. It's like, this game has just been about death. And it's like, I'm sick of killing people. I'm just sick of it.
And what do you think of Joel's decision to kill Marlene as well?
He was right. She would come after her. She would she'd already put the conviction, like you said. She was the mother of
and
Ellie,
well,
pretty much.
It's like it's for Joel and Ellie to have traveled from Boston to Utah.
Yeah.
Marlene did that too.
Yeah.
For the same reasons.
Yeah.
And hoping out of hope that Ellie would make it, and sure enough, she did.
Yeah.
And it's like Marlene was dying. Like, you're under the assumption Marlene fucking died back there, and she made it. It's like, well, that kind of conviction that she traveled there alone, maybe, or with somebody. It's like, it's hard to say. But then to kill her, it's like being a mother figure for Ellie as well. But
because if you listen to all the diaries and stuff she left, it's like, no, she's come to terms with this like shitty fucking decision. She knows that it may result in nothing.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, she's past that tipping point. It's like, no, this is the decision I've made. I'm going to stick with it. So it's like, for Joel to have made the decision of, no, we're getting the fuck out of here. Fuck this. It's like, no, you have to kill Marlene.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
And Daisy Fitzroy came to the decision that she had to kill Jeremiah Fink, and she
Pretty
did.
much. She had to do it. Yeah, so weird that those connections. I don't know. Very strange.
Oh, Troy Baker. Well, and they had that thing where they say that Joel wanted to be like a rock star, wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna hear this motherfucker sing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we know he's a good singer.
He can sing.
And he does, like, Troy Baker does that on the side too as like a musician.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope to hear that, and you don't.
Yeah. But man, fantastic.
Will the circle be No, it's too much.
Will the circle be unbroken?
Bye.
Ellie, put that fucking thing down. Come on, Ellie.
Smelly Ellie.
Ellie smells. I think that's it, though.
Okay.
Goodbye.